Hey guys, I'm Kenzie and I am awesome. Culture journey. So I am here to help y'all learn all about other countries, cultures, and languages. And today I'm going to be sharing with you my language plan so that y'all can learn languages and become fluent and be able to utilize all the resources out there. I'm giving that to you, so I hope you enjoy, and this might just change your life. Okay, y'all, are y'all ready? So I'm going to show you my language binder. I love it. And I'm going to show you all the exercises that I do that helps me learn languages. And so, first things first, we need to be accountable and track our progress. And that is why I have made little charts. And so every day that I write a page, I color in that day. And you see, so Spanish is orange and French is blue. And this was my very first plan. This was when it all started. And that was about 5 months ago. And y'all, at that time, my Spanish was not good. But this has like completely changed that. And so then I had my summer language plan. And now I am starting on my fall semester language plan. And I am so excited because it's working wonders for me. And I love it. So I started out and I would just write a page. And one of the first techniques that I think works wonderfully is the copying method. And that is just where I like to find children's books, but it can be anything. And you just like copy down a page of that. So when you fill the page up, then you stop and you go back and you try to read what you wrote. Hopefully your handwriting is good because that could be a problem. But anyway, then you go and Google Translate or whatever translating app you find works best for you in the language you're learning, and you translate each word that you don't understand. And so that you understand everything, okay? So I have like quite a few words here because this was when I first started French. And that I don't understand, but then I understand the story and it's kabang, y'all, you got it. So that is the copying method. And as it goes along, you start to learn more words, it gets easier. And yeah, but you can copy all sorts of things. I also like to do some quotes or some poems or some songs. It really just whatever works for you. Just find something to copy and there you go. Method number 1, copying. Method number 2 is vocabulary. So I'm not one who likes to do a lot of vocabulary and stress about that, but I do think it's important to just like learn words, okay? And so it's kind of similar to our copying technique, but just like go and like read something, and every time you come across a word you don't know, write it down, and then until you have a list that like covers the page from top to bottom, and then you go and translate those all. And that way you're learning more words. And I don't go back and reread and learn it as well as I probably should, but I'm just not worried about that. I just want to like write it down, put it in my brain, and you know what? If the next day I end up writing the same word down in my vocabulary list, that is okay. That's the way to learn. But I would probably recommend going back and reading them every once in a while. But, however you prefer. If you love vocabulary words, study your heart out. But just don't worry about that too much. And what I think is so important about this is we're not finding other people's vocabulary list. We're making our own, like, with words that are important for us and that we're going to use. Because like when I went to a mission trip on Mexico, I wanted to learn Bible words. And so I read the Bible and like I did it with that. And that way I learned words that would be relevant and I could use. And so I want you to do the same thing, and I wish you luck with that. Y'all, so eventually my language binder got full and the papers were breaking and it was horrible. But you know what I did? I switched and put all my Spanish in this lovely notebook, and I have them organized by methods, and our method number 3 is writing, okay? Writing short little stories, 1 page long, might sound terrifying to y'all, but you can totally do it. It was super hard at first, but eventually it became like second nature. Like I can write one of these in 10 minutes or so. It's just easy and fun, and at first it takes a little bit to like get the sentence structure and how like writing a story works, and like he said, she said, all of that. But after a few, you get it and you're able to build and grow, and your brain can create them. I believe in you. And if you ever need to look up a word because you don't know it, that's okay. And if you make mistakes, that's fine too. I have my friends help me correct them, and that way I'm learning from my mistakes and becoming a better writer and Spanish speaker. And I have wrote over 30 stories about my Spanish ones are about Cami and Rafael. I created little characters and just write about them. And my French characters are Lisa and Paul, and I'm just starting out with them, but they're gonna go so much farther. And I just enjoy this method so much, and I completely recommend you to try it. You can do it. Method number 4, and that would be, wait 1 second. Y'all, I don't know what method number 4 is. Okay, upon further inspection, method number 4 is more about writing. I took time to kind of write out one like sentences, a conjugation one time, and just different things. Like I even wrote just like kind of like a little journal entry, or even like a story about like not about Cami and Rafael, but also just like kind of little more factual things. I wrote about Texas and the history of Peru, and I think like that was important because like writing more realistic stuff is you use different words, and like you're not, it's different, and it's good to learn that. So yeah, that is method number 4. Just kind of write down some stuff. Like if it was your native language, you can write just about anything. So yeah, branch out, try different like little things, try this, write that. Oh, I'm just gonna be creative, make your own ways. Y'all, you got this. You don't need me. I don't even know what I'm doing. Method number 5, or this exercise, is translating. It takes a little bit to get there, to be comfortable, and you know you're not gonna be comfortable till you push your comfort zone. Well, wait, what? Anyway, push yourself before you think you're ready. But I had my friends and family tell me little 1-page stories in English, and I would translate them to Spanish. So they'd say like a sentence, and I'd be like pause, and then I'd try to write it down in Spanish, and then I'd resume. And you know, it was kind of hard at first, and some of my family kind of used some big words and tried to be all fancy, and it's like, y'all, I cut like half of that out of the story. Shh, don't tell them that. But anyway, it's kind of like good to compose and like use like the beautiful things you know in Spanish to like kind of like, it doesn't have to be word for word, like translate it how you think is best and just grow. And translating is kind of an essential part of, what's it called? Learning a language, yeah. So you can do it. Well, it's gonna be hard, but you can do it. That's all I gotta say. You can. So these exercises are all about learning a language in multiple different ways, because languages are all about everything. And so method number 6 is listening. You got to listen, and y'all, listening can be so hard. Your foreign language sounds so fast. You can do it. I like to, you know, maybe listen to a YouTube video that has subtitles, but I turn them off and I write what I hear, and I have to rewind it like 100,000 times. But when I finally get to the end of the page, then I go back and watch it with the subtitles in that language, you know. And I correct all my mistakes because, you know, I'm gonna make some. Just training yourself and trying to hear that and understand it, it helps you so much. So totally go for it. Practice your listening like this so that when you meet real people and they're speaking, you can understand them, because you might be able to speak, but if you can't understand, then you're gonna have this whole one-sided conversation, and that's no fun. Well, talking to yourself can be fun. Like, I do it to myself all the time. Like right now. So method number 7, I am still kind of developing. I haven't done a lot of this, but I think it is kind of an essential thing because I do it in my native language all the time. And that is like read an article, maybe a news thing, or just like a website or something you're interested in. And so you read it and then you summarize it and write it, you know, in Spanish to Spanish or French to French or Arabic to Arabic. Like you read something in that language and then like don't even bother translating it to your native language. Don't you dare, okay? You just write it back down in your own words and from what you understand, just like summarize it and tell the story of it. And you know, hopefully you understood and didn't completely change whatever that was. But oh well, you tried! Woohoo! So it appears that we have come to the end of our methods. But y'all, I promise that I am always trying to come up with new methods to help me learn the language, and I encourage you to do the same. So I have tried to start a few of my friends on my language plan, and I'm gonna be honest, it hasn't come out with a lot of success, and I think that is solely because they are not as motivated as I am. But some people just need that like more accountability, and so I don't know, start it like with a friend, be like, hey, we're gonna work together, we're both gonna do this, we can do this. But honestly, I totally think this is supposed to be adapted from one person to another. So these are things that I enjoy and that work for me. But if they don't work for you, don't do them. Find your own ways, but just use these tools to inspire you. And I'm gonna come out with another video about more in-depth and my future language plan, which I have not learned yet. I am learning right now, day by day. So I just hope that this can help you learn a language and honestly take you from like beginner to intermediate expert. Like, I believe this can go so far. But don't get me wrong, this is not the only way to learn a language. And I am not just doing this. I'm doing other things. Writing is one part. And I know like we include listening and thinking and stuff. But also remember to like read your stories out loud to practice speaking. And there is just so much more. Watch videos, do all this other stuff too. This is just one way. So I loved sharing my cherished language plan with y'all, and I would love it if y'all comment any ideas for me, like other exercises, things to add to my methods that can improve my language learning from your experience, like what has worked for you. And yes, like y'all, we can grow so much from here. There's still so far to go, even though we are amazing, okay? And also like this video and please share it with others so we can all learn languages together and be amazing, because we are amazing. Okay, I already said that. And oh, please, please, please subscribe. Thank you, because we're gonna get to 200 and I believe it. Amen. This was a wonderful video. I can't wait to see you next week, and bye. Adios, hasta luego. Hasta pronto. Ha ha ha.